Hi everyone, it is Miss Rebecca from the Wagner Free Institute of Science. I miss seeing you all in school so much, but I wanted to make a video to share a story and a specimen from the Wagner Free Institute of Science. And there's a connection between this story and this specimen. And I'm sharing it to celebrate an upcoming holiday. So everyone might know a holiday that happened earlier this week, which was Earth Day, but there is a holiday happening today, which is Friday, called Arbor Day. Has anyone ever heard of that word arbor, or have a guess what you think it means? Well, arbor means tree. So if we say Arbor Day, we know it means Tree Day, a day to celebrate trees. So today we are going to read a book, and then I will show you a specimen. But first let's read. So this book is called Are Trees Alive? I think a lot of you probably already know the answers to that, but never hurts to learn more. So this book is called Are Trees Alive? And the author is Debbie S. Miller, and the illustrator is Stacy Shute. Are trees alive? So when we open, I just want to show you this picture. There's a picture of all the continents on Earth, and on each continent it shows different trees that grow there. So we can see that the trees are all a little different in all the different places. Even though they're all trees, they look a little different. Just like there's dogs, but there's golden retrievers, and there's schnauzers. There's all different kinds of dogs, but they're all dogs even though they look different. So that's the same with trees, different kinds that look different. All right, are trees alive? Long roots, and roots are at the bottom, wiggle through the soil. They gather water and minerals that trees need to grow. Roots anchor the tree, like your feet help you stand. So there's an animal in this picture that lets me know that this picture is a place that is not where we live. Do you know what that animal is? It's an elephant. We don't have elephants here in Philadelphia. Sturdy trunks stand short and tall. A trunk supports the body of a tree, like your legs support your body. I like this picture because it's really tall trees, and there's two animals living up high and one animal that lives down low, but they live in the same ecosystem. So even though they're so different, so we have an owl, and that's a bird. That might be a blue jay. I'm not sure. It might be a different bird. And down you see deer. So they live in the same place even though they live in different parts of it. It's like living in the same apartment building, but you live on the 8th floor and your friend lives on the 1st floor. Kind of like that. Branches hold animals, the nests of birds, swings, and tree houses. Has anyone ever been in a tree house? Super cool. They sway gently in the wind like a mother's arms rocking a baby. Bark is dark or light, rough or smooth, thin or thick, just like people's skin. Bark protects the inside of a tree from harsh weather and insects, like your skin protects you. And there's an animal in this picture that I see a lot outside my window while I'm stuck inside at home. It's a squirrel. Do you guys see a lot of squirrels too? I wonder if they're having fun out there while we're all stuck inside. The crown of a tree reaches for the sky and gathers sunlight. All right, we know the crown reaches for the sky, so that makes me think it's the top of a tree. A crown is at the top of the tree, like your head is at the top of your body. The branches and leaves of a large crown give you lots of shade, on a hot summer day. Leaves breathe for the tree. Does anyone know what part of our body helps us breathe? Trees need air, just like we need air. Instead of using their noses and their lungs, because they don't have those, leaves breathe through thousands of tiny pores known as stomata. Leaves flutter in the breeze like your hair blows in the wind. So here's a picture. Looks like they're flying a kite, this child, and under that magnifying glass, you can see the tiny stomata. So we can't see them with our eyes naturally. That's why they're using a magnifying glass in this picture. Stomata help the leaves to breathe, help the tree to breathe. Starting to think if trees breathe and they grow and they need water, they might be alive. Let's keep reading and learn more about them. Sticky sap travels through the small tubes inside of the tree. Between the roots and the leaves, without sap, the tree could not live, just like your body could not live without blood. Look at the veins in a leaf and compare them to the veins in your hand. Some tree sap is harvested by people. Here's a picture. So do you guys remember what we did in the fall to help us see the veins in a leaf? Remember, we laid a leaf and put a piece of paper over it, and then we used the fat crayon to rub it, and then we could see all the little veins. So this is saying to look at the top of your hand and to see your veins and compare them. So if we look at this picture, I can see some similarities. Ooh, trees grow flowers of all shapes and sizes, of bright and soft colors. A pretty flower can attract insects and birds, just like your smiling face can attract a new friend. Animals feed on the nectar and pollen of the flowers. They help spread the pollen so that trees can make seeds and grow fruit. So we all know that's called pollination. And I love this picture because this picture has some of the pollinators we learned about on it. They're kind of hard to see, but if you look closely, you should be able to find a bee, a bat, and a butterfly. Some of my favorite pollinators. Some seeds are tiny and fluffy and fly with the wind. Others are protected inside of their fruit. The coconut tree grows the largest seed on earth. I didn't know that. Seeds sprout and become saplings, that's like a baby, then grow up to be trees. Just like babies become children, they grow up to be adults. So seed, sapling, tree. It's a cycle. Some trees die because of fires, disease, or storm damage. Remember, like a big storm, a hurricane we learned about in weather. Many trees are cut down by people for the wood, but some trees live to be very, very old. Just like some people live to be more than 100. How old do you guys think? How many years do you guys think a tree could live for? What's your guess? During winter, some trees have bare limbs and twigs that lace the cold sky. This is a time when many trees rest without their leaves. Trees rest too, just like you. So winter, maybe you can guess what next season they're going to talk about. It's the season it is now. When spring comes, the trees awaken from their winter's rest. Leaf buds swell on the branches. Cherry blossoms bloom. With more sunshine, the trees burst with new life, just like you burst out the door with your friends to play and celebrate spring when quarantine ends. I can't wait to get to play outside more again. Maybe if you have been outside going to a store or going to pick something up, you notice that there are a lot of trees that look like this that had big flowers on them. While you picnic under a tree, the forest has a picnic of its own. The sun helps the leaves make food, the rain brings drink, and the wind brings music to the forest. That looks fun. All right, and that's the end. On this page, they talk about all those different trees that we saw in the very beginning, and then all the animals are on the outside are animals that depend on trees as it's part of their habitat. It's part of where they make their home. So I see, let's see, a baboon, a koala, a red squirrel, a bee, lots of other animals. So these are all animals too that appeared in the story. So you probably spotted a lot of them. Great. So now, like I promised, I have brought something home to show you from the Wagner Free Institute of Science. So this is the kind of thing that you might have seen if you came on a field trip. So first I'm just going to show it to you. You can maybe make an observation and I'll share some of mine. And then after we can talk about what it is. So here it is. I notice it's really heavy, like very, very heavy. I wonder why it's so many different colors, and it reminds me of a painting. So, does anyone have a guess what this is? You can see on this side, it kind of reminds me of something we were just talking about, but it's heavy and shiny and colorful. So this is actually petrified wood, and petrified wood is a fossilized piece of a tree. So if this is a fossil, did this come from a tree that lived recently or lived really long ago? What do you think? Came from a tree that lived really long ago. So this piece of wood came from a tree that lived 200 million or 300 million years ago, sometime in between that. So really, really long ago. And is this the leaf or the root? What part of the tree was this when it was alive? What do you think? Was the bark. So it's the bark part of the tree, and you can see it looks like it, but this is not a tree anymore. When something becomes petrified, that means it becomes a fossil and it becomes a rock. So this is really heavy because it's a rock. It's not a tree anymore, but you can still see parts of it that are like the tree. You can see the pattern of the bark. And if you look closely, you can kind of see the rings that grow every year out as a tree gets older and older. So what happened is there was a tree. It fell down. It died. A storm knocked it down. Something happened and it fell into the water. Fell into a lake, an ocean, a river, a pond. It fell in water and it got buried under sand and mud, and it stayed there for a really, really, really long time. And as time passed, minerals got into the nooks and crannies, and it got fossilized and it became a rock. Now, does anyone have a guess why there's all these different colors? See at least red, blue, yellow, maybe some grays and greensy colors. All those different colors are different minerals. So maybe iron, magnesium, different kinds of minerals made their place there while this wood became fossilized into a rock, and it got preserved. And now we have things like this to study trees that lived long, long, long ago. So I'm going to send with your teachers, and hopefully they'll attach it, another video where you get to go to a forest that is completely petrified wood. It's not alive anymore. It's all rocks, and you can learn some more about petrified wood. So I'm so happy I got to share some Arbor Day fun with you guys, and I hope you're all doing okay. If I see you in school, I miss seeing you so, so much, and I cannot wait to see you again one day in the future. Bye.